There. The sun rose slowly over the Pride Lands, painting the sky with soft gold and fiery orange. And in that quiet moment, Simba stood alone on Pride Rock, feeling the weight of destiny pressing gently but firmly on his heart. Long ago, he had been just a playful cub chasing butterflies and dreaming without understanding what it truly meant to be king. Now, as the wind brushed through his mane, Simba felt something deeper than excitement or fear. He felt responsibility. The land below him stretched wide and alive, filled with animals who trusted him, depended on him, and believed in him. This was no longer just his home. It was his duty. His destiny was no longer a distant idea. It was here, real, and calling him forward. Simba closed his eyes and remembered his father's voice, calm and steady, reminding him that everything the light touched was part of a greater balance. Back then, Simba had thought being king meant roaring the loudest or standing the tallest. Now he knew better. Being king meant listening, protecting, and sometimes making difficult choices that others might not understand. As he looked down at the waking Pride Lands, he promised himself that he would lead not with fear, but with wisdom and heart. Destiny had chosen him, but responsibility would shape him. Below Pride Rock, young animals gathered near the watering hole, laughing and splashing as the day began. Simba noticed a group of cubs arguing over who should go first. Their voices rose, frustration growing, and Simba knew this small moment mattered. He descended calmly and approached them, his presence quieting the noise without a single roar. He knelt to their level and spoke gently, asking each cub to share their side. Slowly, the anger faded, replaced by understanding. Simba suggested a simple solution that allowed everyone a turn. The cubs nodded, surprised at how easy it felt once they listened to each other. As Simba walked away, he knew leadership often lived in these small, unseen moments. As the day warmed, Simba was alerted to trouble near the eastern plains. A herd of animals had become restless, worried about shrinking water sources. Fear spread quickly, and fear could become dangerous if left unchecked. Simba moved swiftly, not in panic, but with purpose. He gathered the animals and spoke clearly, reassuring them that he would not ignore their concerns. He sent scouts to search for hidden streams and asked stronger animals to help protect the weaker ones during the journey. No one was ordered. Everyone was included. This was responsibility in action, and Simba felt its weight and its power. Along the way, doubts whispered in his mind. What if he made the wrong decision? What if the animals lost faith in him? The memory of running away long ago still lingered like a shadow. But Simba had learned that courage was not the absence of fear. It was choosing to move forward despite it. Each step he took, beside his people, strengthened his resolve. Destiny was not about being perfect. It was about being present. As the search continued, the sun climbed high, and fatigue began to show. Some animals complained, others slowed down, and tension threatened to return. Simba paused the group and addressed them honestly. You admitted that he did not have all the answers, but he promised he would not abandon them. That honesty changed everything. The animals straightened, renewed by trust rather than command. Together, they pressed on. When water was finally found, hidden behind tall rocks and shaded trees, relief washed over the group. Cheers echoed, but Simba did not celebrate loudly. Instead, he ensured the youngest and weakest drank first. He watched quietly, knowing this moment would be remembered far longer than any roar. But responsibility meant putting others before himself, even when no one was watching. As evening approached, Simba returned to Pride Rock, exhausted but fulfilled. The sky burned red and purple, and the land seemed to breathe peacefully again. Simba sat and reflected on the day. Destiny had placed him here, but responsibility had guided his actions. He understood now that being king was not about ruling over others. It was about standing with them, carrying their worries, and protecting their future. Debt. Night, as stars filled the sky, Simba felt something settle inside him. Not fear, not doubt, but acceptance. His rise was not a single moment of triumph. It was a journey made of choices, compassion, and courage. And tomorrow, he would rise again, ready to face whatever destiny placed in his path. Not as a cub chasing dreams, but as a king embracing responsibility. The morning breeze swept across the Pride Lands with a quiet strength, carrying the scent of grass, earth, and new beginnings. Simba woke before sunrise, his mind already turning with thoughts of the day ahead. Being king did not pause when the land slept. Responsibility moved with the stars and waited with the dawn. As the first light touched the horizon, Simba stood and looked out over his kingdom, feeling both pride and humility. Every choice he made shaped the future, and today would bring new tests of his courage, wisdom, and heart. As the land stirred awake, a messenger bird arrived with urgent news. Trouble was brewing near the northern border. Younger lions had begun to challenge one another, each wanting to prove their strength. Their rivalry was causing fear among the smaller animals, and the balance of the Pride Lands was at risk. Simba listened carefully, his expression calm but serious. This was not a problem that could be solved with force alone. It was a lesson waiting to be taught. Simba set out immediately, moving with purpose, but without haste. Along the way, he thought about his own youth, how easily pride and impatience could cloud judgment. He remembered wanting to be strong, wanting to be seen, without understanding the cost of reckless actions, too. When he reached the northern plains, he saw the tension clearly. Two young lions stood apart, muscles tense, eyes blazing, surrounded by anxious onlookers. The air felt heavy with unspoken challenges. Simba stepped between them, his presence firm but gentle. He did not roar. He did not threaten. Instead, he spoke, yes. Each lion why they were angry, what they hoped to gain, and what they feared losing. At first, neither wanted to answer. But slowly, words replaced growls. One feared being forgotten. The other feared being weak. Simba listened without interrupting, understanding that leadership often began with hearing what others could not say aloud. But when they finished, Simba shared his own story. He spoke of fear, of running away, of learning the hard truth that strength without wisdom could destroy everything it touched. He explained that true strength was not about proving dominance, but about protecting others and protecting peace. The young lions lowered their heads, the fire in their eyes fading into reflection. Simba asked them to work together to guard the border, not as rivals, but as partners. Hesitation lingered, but responsibility slowly replaced pride. The change was immediate. The tension eased, and the watching animals relaxed. Simba felt a quiet satisfaction, not because he had commanded obedience, but because he had guided understanding. Destiny had made him king, but responsibility had taught him how to lead hearts, not just bodies. As the day continued, a new challenge arose. Heavy clouds gathered unexpectedly, and a fierce storm rolled across the plains. Winds howled, trees bent, and panic spread among the herds. Simba moved swiftly, organizing shelter and guiding animals away from dangerous areas. Sent his strongest two clear paths, the fastest to carry messages, and stayed himself where fear was greatest. Rain soaked his mane, thunder shook the ground, but Simba did not retreat. Leadership meant standing firm when others needed stability. In the chaos, a young zebra became separated from its family. Its cries cut through the storm, sharp with fear. Without hesitation, Simba pushed forward, shielding the zebra with his own body until help arrived. In that moment, responsibility was not a title or a crown. It was action. It was presence. It was choosing others over safety. When the storm finally passed, the land lay quiet and refreshed. Animals emerged slowly, relief visible in every movement. Families reunited. Fear faded. Simba stood among them, tired but steady. He checked on the injured, reassured the shaken, and praised those who had helped others. He reminded everyone that survival was not about strength alone, but about unity. As evening fell, Simba returned once more to Pride Rock. The sky glowed with soft colors, and the land below felt peaceful again. Simba reflected on the day's trials. Each challenge had demanded patience, courage, and selflessness. Destiny had placed him on this path, but responsibility shaped every step he took upon it. He understood now that being king was not about standing above others, but standing for them. It was about making difficult choices, guiding with compassion, and never turning away from fear his own or anyone else's. Simba rested beneath the stars, feeling the weight of his role, but also its meaning. His rise was ongoing, built not in moments of glory, but in quiet acts of responsibility that kept the Pride Lands whole. The final dawn broke gently, as if the Pride Lands themselves were breathing in hope. Simba stood at the edge of Pride Rock, watching the horizon glow with promise. His reflection in a small pool of water caught his eye, and for a moment he saw not just a king, but the cub he once was, curious, uncertain, and full of dreams. Destiny had lifted him to this place, but responsibility had shaped the lion he had become. Today, Simba felt something new settle in his heart, confidence rooted not in power, but in purpose. As the land awakened, animals gathered naturally below Pride Rock. They did not come because they were ordered to. They came because they trusted Simba. He felt that trust deeply, knowing it was fragile and precious. Simba stepped forward and spoke clearly, his voice calm yet strong. He reminded them that the Pride Lands belonged to everyone, and that protecting its balance was a shared duty. His words were simple, but they carried truth. Destiny gave him a crown, but responsibility gave his words meaning. Later that morning, Simba received troubling news. A distant valley, long quiet, had become restless. Food was scarce there, and frustration had turned into conflict among the animals. Simba knew ignoring the problem would only allow it to grow. This was a test of leadership beyond borders, beyond comfort. Without hesitation, he decided to go himself. Some advised him to send others instead, but Simba shook his head. A true leader did not hide behind distance. The journey to the valley was long and challenging. The ground grew rough, the air heavy, and doubt whispered quietly in Simba's mind. But with every step, he remembered the lessons learned through hardship. Responsibility meant showing up, especially when it was difficult. When Simba arrived, he saw fear and anger tangled together. Animals argued, pushed, and blamed one another. The balance was breaking. Simba did not roar to silence them. He sat among them. He listened. One by one, voices rose and fell, sharing stories of hunger, fear, and feeling forgotten. Simba absorbed it all, letting their pain guide his understanding. Then he spoke, not as a king above them, but as a guardian among them. He acknowledged their struggle and promised support, but also reminded them that turning against one another would only deepen the problem. Simba proposed a plan that required cooperation. Resources would be shared, hunting grounds rotated, and no one would be left out. Stronger animals would help the weaker, not because they were forced to, but because survival depended on unity. It was not an easy decision, and not everyone agreed at first. But Simba stayed, explaining, listening, adjusting. Responsibility was patience. Responsibility was staying until trust returned. Slowly, the tension eased. Animals began to work together. Unsure at first, then more confidently. The valley began to change, not just in resources, but in spirit. Simba felt a quiet pride, not in himself, but in what they had achieved together. Destiny had led him there, but responsibility had kept him grounded. Old Ray. On the journey home, Simba faced one final challenge. A narrow canyon blocked his path, and a sudden rock slide trapped him between steep walls. Dust filled the air, and for the first time in a long while, fear rose sharply in his chest. He was alone. No roar would bring help quickly. In that moment, Simba understood something deeply important. Even kings could feel small. Even leaders could feel afraid. Instead of panicking, Simba remembered every lesson he had learned. He assessed the situation carefully, tested the ground, and waited for the dust to settle. Using patience and wisdom, he found a safe path through the rocks. When he emerged, scratched but unharmed, Simba felt stronger than ever, not because he had escaped danger, but because he had trusted himself. As Simba returned to the Pride Lands, the sun dipped low, casting long shadows across the grass. Animals greeted him with relief and joy. They could see it in his eyes. He was not just their king, but their protector, their guide. Simba climbed Pride Rock one last time that day and looked out across his home. In that quiet moment, Simba finally understood the full meaning of his rise. Destiny had chosen him. Yes, but responsibility had taught him how to carry that destiny with humility, courage, and heart. Leadership was not about never falling. It was about rising every time, wiser and kinder than before. As night wrapped the Pride Lands in silver light, Simba rested, feeling peace settle within him. His journey was far from over, but he was ready. Ready to face tomorrow, ready to guide others, ready to carry the weight of responsibility with strength and compassion. The rise of Simba was not just the story of a king, it was the story of becoming who you were meant to be. By choosing responsibility every single day,